How's it going? It's Brian Soscia here at WrestleMania 30. This is huge in New Orleans. Everyone's having a good time, and I am so honored. I got my pink tie on.
Yeah.
To be here with Natalya, and not only wrestling, but Total Divas. Your career is just taken off, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. I've been on a roll, and I've been so proud of myself over the last year. And I can really truthfully say that I'm proud of myself because I've been working so hard. I worked over 320 days last year. Wow. And I haven't stopped, and I've never looked back. I just continue to go, and I'm like the Energizer Bunny with some good Starbucks. But yeah, it's been a crazy year with Total Divas. I've been on a roll with WWE, and I've proven, I think, to myself and to the WWE fans that you don't need the Divas Championship to be successful.
But you could gain the Divas Championship. Vicky Guerrero Invitational here at WrestleMania 30. If you can get it, I mean, the paydays are going to be better, right? It's going to be a better time for you.
For me, it's about representing the WWE. It's about being the face of the WWE for the Divas division, and of course, I want to be Divas Champion again. But I'm not going to let a piece of hardware, and it's not that the championship is not prestigious or wonderful or amazing, but I'm not going to let something tangible or material define me for who I am as a person. But needless to say, on Sunday I'm going to be the Divas champion, and I'm going to come out on top. I'm going to put maybe 2 or 3 girls in the sharpshooter, and I'm looking at Summer Rae as my first target. But the Divas Championship means a lot to all of us girls, and we've all worked hard all year long to be participating in this match. But more than anything, it's like my Uncle Owen used to say, enough is enough, it's time for a change.
Well, I agree, and I think that's a great thing you said. I mean, the title is very valuable, but that's a good example for young women and everything to realize that something tangible isn't going to define you.
Yeah.
Good job with that.
Like I said, it's not that I don't value it, but it would be amazing to have it, but it's not going to run my life and determine my happiness. But it's certainly going to determine whether I buy that Louis Vuitton purse.
Which is nice. You're a powerful woman with or without it. I understand that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Total Divas. Let's talk about that for a moment. It's getting bigger and bigger. I watch the show. I know that my fiance watches the show. I know that a lot of people, the guy holding the camera, he tells people are watching the show that aren't normally wrestling fans.
Right.
So I would guess that before you're going through airports and stuff, and people recognize you from WWE.
Yeah.
And now you're more mainstream with Total Divas. Has that changed the way people might, hey, it's a lady from Total Divas, like the darn fans kind of?
Definitely. People will walk up to me on the street and go, oh my gosh, you're Natty. And it's crazy because I'd never experienced that before. And it's just a mainstream audience, and the show replays over and over and over again. So if you think about it, it's a 1-hour show, and we played now 16 episodes. Okay. So actually 17 episodes. Wow. So you look at 17 hours of 7 girls, and people are going to know who you are. And I'm so grateful for it, but I just never take it for granted, because I remember when I was struggling in WWE and I was in the shadows and I was being left out of WrestleMania and just not being included and just being overlooked. I felt like, I don't know, I just never want to ever go back to that, and now I'm never looking back.
And you shouldn't. And I'll tell you, as a fan watching, that made me angry. It did. It made me a little upset that somebody with your talent, with your looks, with everything, your ability, would be in the shadows. So I'm so happy. I feel like I'm so happy that you have. No, it's great, right?
I appreciate that.
Good. I'm so happy that you've come so far and you're doing so well. And with Total Divas, you continue to talk about that. I feel like WWE Superstars, and you grew up around, so you're probably the best person to talk to about this. I feel like if you look at Brad Pitt, fans aren't looking at Brad Pitt to be a character from a movie. They see him as Brad Pitt.
Right.
Now, you're probably an extension of yourself, but on Total Divas, you're Natalya, and on WWE, you're Natalya. You're walking through an airport, fans expect you to always be on and always be Natalya.
Always.
Is that hard?
It is, but I always just try to be myself, and I always try to be really, really nice to my fans, because that's the one time, if they meet me and it's the only time they've ever met me, they're going to remember that for the rest of their life. And so it's just a lot easier to be nice than it is to be rotten. And it makes me feel better being nice, too. If I don't have time, or I'm in a rush, or I'm running, or I'm on the phone, I'll politely say, I'm so sorry, guys, I can't sign for you right now. I'm going to miss my flight. Or, because you just telling the truth and just saying, hey, like, I have a guilty conscience, and I just couldn't go to sleep at night knowing I told a fan to beat it, or, I mean, they're the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it sounds, again, like kind of hokey to say that, but There was somebody that I met one time,
Okay.
famous, and they weren't very polite when I met them. And I think they were probably just having a bad day. But I always remembered that. And now I can't look at them as being somebody like that I really look up to and admire because it was that one time that I met them. Who knows? They could have been the nicest person in the world. Maybe they were going through something. Maybe their cat died or maybe. But that time that I met them, they were really rude to me. And it really turned me off. So I always think about that kind of stuff.
That's smart. I mean, that's why your fans like you. That's why they love you. That's why they love Natalya.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Natalya, I want to ask you about, obviously it's talked about on Divas. You're married to, I guess he's TJ on the show, Tyson Kidd.
Yeah.
Who I'm also a huge fan of. I think his ability is top notch, and I can't wait to
Yeah.
see what the world holds for him in WWE. How hard is it to do this gig and be married to somebody doing the same thing?
Hard, very hard, because it's, both of us are going through the same thing. We're both trying to prove ourselves and make our way to the top, and it's challenging. But at the same time, we can lean on each other, and it's a lot easier to lean on somebody that knows what's going on and understands our industry than it is to do it to an outsider. So, and TJ is so talented. He's young, he's talented, and he's got some things that he's working on that I think are going to be very intriguing to our WWE fans.
I can't wait. And I'm probably the only one. You were his wife. You probably hated it. He needs to grow that awesome hair back in the front. I think it was great.
Oh,
What did you think about that hair? Be honest.
I hated that haircut, and I'm the one that made him cut it.
Why?
Yeah.
That's great. You remember him.
But
Little
he's
crown on his head looked like.
he's got this Baby Huey. He looked like Baby Huey. But TJ's got when he had his knee surgery, he ended up growing his hair long, and then I was like, I'm sick of this. So then he ended up cutting it, and he's just so handsome regardless.
Oh, that's nice. You're just so nice. So, do you think going back to being married and doing this? I always wondered, couples. I don't know if there's a ton. I'm trying to think of couples that did it together. Do you know of any other ones? You can think of
Trinity or Naomi and her,
Yeah.
Bree and Brian,
Macho Man and Liz back in the
Macho
day.
Man and Miss Elizabeth. Yeah.
There's not many.
Deborah and Steve
Mongo.
Austin.
And Mongo.
And Mongo.
Don't forget
Mongo.
Mongo.
Oh, my God.
So now the thing is, there's actually more than I thought.
Dustin Marlena.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I forgot about all these. So as you do that, I always wondered, because you love wrestling so much, and it shines
Yeah.
through in everything you do. And I know he loves wrestling. So does it ever become a battle for you to say, we're always talking about wrestling? Or do you ever get tired of it? Or do you have to
Yes.
make that separation?
Well, when we come home, TJ wants to watch wrestling 24/7.
I like him.
WWE Network is like
Oh.
it's like an obsession. It's like he wakes up at the crack of dawn to watch WWE Network. Put it down for 5 seconds, change the cat litter, take out the garbage, do something productive. But he loves wrestling. It's what makes him happy. He loves WWE. He loves old Japanese wrestling. He loves everything from ECW to WCW to, just all of it. He loves wrestling.
And that's kind of, to me, I'm not living with him, but I would guess that if you step back and look at it, if you get annoyed, that's understandable. But it's kind of endearing that he does it because he loves it so much.
Oh, yeah.
And think about this. I'm going to help you, TJ. He loves wrestling so much, right? It's the love of his life. But he loves you more than wrestling, so that's got to make you feel great how much he loves wrestling.
Of course. And I always remind him that when I'm right, I'm right. And when I'm wrong, I'm still right.
I like it. All right, last question before you let you go. One more thing from Total Divas. What can the fans expect? I see you're going to be slapping Summer Rae in the face coming up. I saw the previews for
She
it.
slapped me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm so...
No, that's okay.
She slapped... How could she slap you? Beautiful thing.
She slapped me. She showed up to my house, didn't even tell me she was coming. I didn't even know she knew where I lived. I can't even describe what, yeah.
She's a loss for words. Well, Natalya, WrestleMania 30, New Orleans. Don't focus on her. Focus on the match and getting in there to beat her up.
Yeah.
Get your title, and then continue to be the great influence you are. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Brian. Bri.
Bri. I like that. Brian, Bri. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.